So in our first reading today, we hear about the death of Moses. Okay, Moses says here was 120 years old when he died. Okay, and then what happened there was that the Israelites wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. They were mourning for 30 days. And I guess that's what happened when someone famous, someone who did a lot of good works, when they leave this world, people would really mourn. An example of that is St. John Paul II. When he died in 2003, right? Or 2005. Catholics really mourned. When Mother Teresa died in 1997, a lot of people also mourned. In fact, in the secular world also, when Princess Diana died on the same year with Mother Teresa, a lot of people really mourned. So here, people were mourning because Moses died. And there's so many things to say, so many nice things to say about Moses. But we all know Moses didn't start well. He was a murderer, right? He killed somebody. And because of that, he fled. And for that was the first 40 years of his life. The next 40 years of his life, he was kind of like a wanderer, like a shepherd. It's like he was wasting his life. Okay? And then the third 40 years of his life, the Lord used him in a very powerful way to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. Okay? It says here, never since has there arisen a prophet in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. He was unequaled for all the signs and wonders that the Lord sent him to perform in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh. Okay? And, but you know, despite his many good attributes, he was not perfect. Okay? As we know, he killed somebody. Also, he was disobedient also to the Lord, right? The Lord asked him to speak to the rock so that water would flow out. He didn't do that. He struck the rock twice for the water to flow out. So he was disobedient too. But I'm sure he repented from his disobedience, and he was able to finish strong. So it's not so much about how you started, but how you finish. And Moses finished strong. It says here, when he was about to die, his sight was unimpaired and his vigor had not abated. He was still full of zeal for the Lord. Okay? But I think one of the greatest accomplishment of Moses was he was able to find a successor in his place. He had a succession plan. And that has to do with Joshua, who took over his place. Okay? Imagine Moses, no successor, no succession plan. After he died, all the Israelites died also in the wilderness, and they were not able to enter Promised Land. Will he be remembered well? No. Right? But because he was a good leader is not just, all the attributes about yourself. No. A good leader, of course, you have followers, but a good leader also is you train other good leaders who could take your place. In the secular world, we know of great companies after the leader maybe resigned or retired or died, the company struggled. We know of Steve Jobs when he left Apple for a few years, right? Apple struggled. He had to come back. Okay. Also with Microsoft. Okay. Bill Gates, when he retired, Microsoft struggled. He had to come back. Okay. So there are other companies like that. We need to find a succession plan. So for those who are in ministry here, do you have a succession plan? We call it the leadership pipeline. Okay? So when you retire, when you stop leading your ministry, is there somebody who would succeed your place and continue the success? That's why it's called succession. right? Continuing the success that you started. Because if you don't, you will not be remembered well. Yes, you started well, but you did not finish strong. Okay? So let's think about that. Like, do we have a Joshua, who could easily take over our place whenever we resign, whenever we retire, when we die? That person will continue the good works that we have started.